learningspace.com.ng.
You're welcome to learningspace.com.ng. In case you don't know, this site still remains your number one e-learning site in Nigeria. A site where you could go for preparations for your local exams such as JAM, the NECO, and the WAEC examinations. My name is Amos, and I'm going to be your anchorman for the subjects biology and chemistry. And for today's series of lectures, we're beginning our biology lectures with the aspect varieties of living organisms, which actually is the first part of your biology syllabus. So we'll be looking at varieties of organisms, and topics under varieties of organisms include the concept of life, everything that pertains to cell, classification and invertebrates, vertebrates, animals, everything that has to do with introductory biology. So I crave your indulgence, pay attention, and I'm very sure at the end of the day you won't have any regrets you're logging on to this site. So we'll start right away. Like I said earlier on, we're looking at varieties of organisms, and we have a series of questions that we're going to use to buttress our point. Just relax and have a nice time. Now, our first question here is taken from JAM 1979 number 1. It says all living organisms dash. In other words, the question is trying to find out which feature in your option is exhibited by all living organisms, be it plant or be it animal. Now, answer here is option B, respire. Now, respiration basically is a biochemical process which involves the oxidation of food or organic materials in living organisms to produce or manufacture food or organic to produce energy in the form of a chemical compound called ATP. So when food or organic materials in living organisms are oxidized to generate energy in the form of a chemical compound called ATP, we call that process respiration. Now, basically, plants respire, animals also respire. The major difference between respiration in plants is just as in animals. Between plants and animals is that in animals, respiration is of the aerobic type, while in plants, respiration is of the anaerobic type. Now, what does that mean? If I'm telling you that respiration is of the aerobic type, it means food will have to be oxidized in the presence of oxygen. So I can have this as food being oxidized in the presence of oxygen, okay, to generate carbon dioxide, water, and 38 ATP of energy. This is respiration in animals. However, in plants may not really need oxygen to oxidize food. In other words, plants carry out the anaerobic form of respiration, where food, that's carbohydrates, may be oxidized in the absence of oxygen to generate an alcohol, which is ethanol, plus carbon dioxide with a yield of 2 ATP of energy. So plants respire, animals also respire, but the basic difference is just that animals carry out the aerobic type of respiration, while plants exhibit the anaerobic type of respiration. Now, the other options couldn't have been the answer. For example, option A, which is photosynthesis, that's only a feature for plants. Movement, a feature for animal. Feeding, plants don't feed, they don't take in food, so that's a feature for plants, for animals. Then transpire. Transpiration means the loss of water from plants in the form of vapor. This is a feature of plants. So our answer is option B, respiration. Our next question is obtained from JAM 1978, number 13. It reads, which of the following is characteristic of the animal cell? Which of the following is characteristic of the animal cell? Now, our answer here is option C, absence of large vacuoles. Now, the food vacuole is basically a structure which is used for the storage and the digestion of food materials, and it is prominent in plant cells. Animal cells either do not have a food vacuole, or if they are having it, it is very, very minute, very small, very, very small. So understand that food vacuole, which is a structure meant for the storage and for the digestion of food, is a prominent feature in plant and animal cell. So our answer is option C. Which of the following is characteristic of the animal cell? Absence of large vacuole. Okay. Now, it couldn't have been option A, possession of chloroplast. That's a feature for plant cells. Option B, possession of cellulose cell wall, that's plant cells. Then if you take a look at the option E, chromosomes, they are hereditary structures which could be possessed by both plants and animal cells. Okay, now the next question it reads, it's gotten from JAM 1979 number 12. It reads, which of the following options is not true of mucor or rhizopus? Which of the following options is not true of mucor or rhizopus. Now, first, we must understand at this point that the mucor or the rhizopus belongs to a kingdom of living organisms known as the fungi. Okay, basically in biology we have 5 kingdoms of living things. We have the kingdom Monera, we have the kingdom Protista, the kingdom Fungi, the group to which the mucor and the rhizopus belongs, the kingdom Plantae, and the kingdom Animalia. So the question reads, which of the following options is not true of mucor or rhizopus? Now, we are having 2 correct answers here. Option B says it is a plant. Now, mucor and rhizopus, they are both not plants. Mucor is a fungus, rhizopus is also a fungus, so they are not plants. Okay, so option B is correct. Now, we're also having a correct option again, option C. It says it has cellulose cell wall. Now, fungi, they have a cell wall, but their cell wall is not made up of cellulose. Rather, their cell wall is made up of a carbohydrate called chitin. Chitin makes up the cell wall of a fungus. So a fungus has a cell wall, but the cell wall is not made up of cellulose. It is made up of chitin. So we have 2 correct options, option B and option C. Now, you might be wondering, why are we having 2 correct options here? Now, the year this question was asked was 1979. And as far back as 1979, basically in biology, we had just 2 kingdoms of living things, which were the kingdom Plantae and the kingdom Animalia. In other words, then, every living organism was thought to either be a plant or an animal. And based on this, the fungi were classified as being plants. But today we know that the fungi have a separate kingdom, which is kingdom fungi, so they are basically not plants. So now we know that 2 options here are correct. It is not a plant. It has a cell wall, but the cell wall is not made up of cellulose. It's made up of chitin. So option B is correct. Option C is also correct. Now, our next question is taken from JAM 1978, number 6. It says, the cilia in Paramecium is used for, what's the function of the cilia in Paramecium? Okay. Now, basically, the cilia in Paramecium plays 2 major roles. Cilia could be used for feeding. It could also be used for locomotion, for movement, for locomotion. So because it is used for locomotion, we could refer to movement in Paramecium as being ciliary movement. We describe movement in Paramecium as ciliary movement. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the structure of the Paramecium cell, looking at the gullet, you also get to see cilia lining the gullet. Now, the cilia lining the gullet, they help to direct food from the mouth into the gullet. So the cilia plays 2 key roles in Paramecium. One, for locomotion, so hence movement in Paramecium is described as ciliary. Second, it is used for feeding. That's the cilia that lines the gullet of the Paramecium. Okay, so it says the cilia in Paramecium are used for, our answer is option B, for locomotion. Option B, locomotion. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. It reads from JAM 1978, number 7. Euglena may be classified as a plant. Euglena may be classified as a plant because it. Now, the question is looking at what feature classifies Euglena as a plant. Why is Euglena classified as a plant? Now, for Euglena to be classified as a plant, it means it must possess a plant characteristic or a plant feature. Okay, now the only plant feature here possessed by Euglena is option A. It has chloroplasts. That's our answer. Chloroplasts are structures which contain chlorophyll that helps to trap sunlight for the purpose of photosynthesis. So the reason Euglena may be classified as a plant is because it has chloroplasts, which enables it to trap sunlight for photosynthesis. The other options here have no relationship with plant or plant structures. For example, option B, it has a gullet. That's an animal feature. Option C, it lives in a pond. That is not specifically a plant feature. Option D, it possesses flagellum. Flagellum, it's an animal feature. Option E, it has a pellicle. No, a pellicle is a very flexible structure which could enable the Euglena to change its body shape or structure. So our answer here is option A, it has chloroplasts. Thank you very much.